Now let's go in and delete this extra stray line here. And you might say, well, why isn't it a surface? It's usually when I draw a surface, it fills it all in. Well, since these are individual components that were exploded, it's just back to regular line work. So all we have to do is just draw a line. We're just going to pick one of these, trace it, draw a line, and it fills it in automatically, same as if it's missing an edge. Now we're ready to extrude or push-pull this into a width. How do we do that? Well, and what size do we use? The code tells us that too. Now the code defines a minimum stair width of 44 inches unless you have an occupant load less than 50. And that would include most small commercial buildings. So the minimum then is 36. 36 is a snug stair, so I'm going to make it 39 inches. So I'm making it a little bit bigger than the minimum. Pull it across and type in 39 inches. And you notice we have this extra line here. We can just go in, click, and delete that line. But we've represented a much more accurate stairway with a bottom, and we have an extra line there too. Let's go ahead and delete that. Much more accurate stairway than just stacking a bunch of blocks on. So this would be a much more accurate representation in our model when we cut a section through our building. Let's go ahead and turn the group that makes up the walls and floors back on. So we'll go to Group and Unhide. Now, let's say we like the stairs. We want to just move them over a little bit. Well, these are not linked to the walls. They're not a group yet, but they're not linked to the walls. So let's right-click on them and make them a group. Now that group's highlighted. It's also highlighted in our outliner here. Let's just right-click on this, come to the bottom, and click on Rename. And we're going to call this Stairs. This one, we're going to rename and call it Wall, Floor. So even though it's not a component, you can rename groups by using the outliner. So we're going to click on the stairs. We're going to click on Move. And we want to move it. Let's say we want to move it over about 6 feet. Let's build a simple wall with drywall on it to enclose our stairs. We don't know how long it's going to be, so what we want to do is come down here and draw a line on the blue axis. So we lock the blue axis until we hit the face, and it says it's intersecting a plane, so that's where we want it. So we'll begin our wall right here, and we want it to come out a few inches beyond. Right now, it's telling us that we are about 15 feet. So let's go 15'3", but you notice the order here. You need to check the order sometimes when you're entering the dimensions. The thinnest dimension, the 1 5/16, is the thickness. So we want that 3.5. 3.5, comma, 15 foot 3 inches. Then we can push-pull this, and we'll push-pull it to there. And then we want to push-pull it again. How much do we want to push-pull it again? Well, we want 36 inches. So we push-pull it to one location, and then push-pull it again, giving an exact dimension off that point. Now, we could leave this enclosed. This could be a wall that's full height. Or let's say we want to cut it back. Well, we want to cut it back based on the nosing of the stairs. So we're going to draw a line on that face, on that nosing. We will identify that line, go to Move, hit our plus key, which is the Control or Command key, and how high do we want this? Let's just say we want this 36 also. Then, what do we want to do? We want to draw on the end of this. We want to extend this line. You notice it's parallel to the edge that we selected, so it's red. I'll just go ahead and go beyond. I'm not going to worry about snapping on the edge because sometimes it'll force it off the default then of being parallel. And I'll do the same thing on the other end. And since I've drawn a line on this surface, I can just delete that surface. Or I can push-pull it and just delete that surface. So just push-pull, snap to this edge, and it's gone. I have a couple of my layout lines that I can come back and erase. Remember, if you accidentally erase something, Control-Z or undo, edit, undo. Now, I might want to go ahead and just leave that open or copy it onto the other side. If I want to copy it onto the other side, I will identify it. Notice it doesn't highlight the stairs because the stairs are a group. If I didn't make them a group, since they're touching, if I hadn't made the stairs a group, they'd be stuck on here and I wouldn't be able to do this. So now I can copy this, and I'm going to copy it from the intersection point, hit the plus key, and then I can copy it to that location. I can either have a stairway down at this point, underneath the stairs, or I can chop one of these walls and make it open under the stair. Let's go back to our X-ray mode, View, Face, X-ray. And I can just draw a line from that point to that point. And then the other thing is we're going to go in and just wall floor, hide it. Rotate this around, identify the surface, snap back to the point, make sure we're on that edge, go to View, Face, X-ray, Off. Thanks for joining us on this little lesson. We'll have another lesson on how to build a stair with some newel posts.